You know, quitting your job can actually be one of the most satisfying experiences of your life. Now imagine quitting a job that you hate and publishing your scathing resignation letter online for everyone to see.
Writer Ben McCurry, who worked for video game website Brash Games, handed in his resignation and then published his review of Pac-Man 256. Seems pretty innocuous, right? People quit their jobs all the time. Well, yes, they do, but not usually in the way this guy chose to do it. You see, McCurry's review of Pac-Man 256 just so happened to feature a totally unrestrained criticism of Brash Games and the site's editor-in-chief, Paul Ryan. He made the most of the fact that no one seems to check reviews before they go live and wrote whatever he wanted. In a review, McCurry accused Ryan of editing people's reviews of games without telling them and changing the score to suit his personal preference. He would even go as far as stripping writers' names from the articles, and he would take all the credit.
In one of the last paragraphs of the review, McCurry says he handed in his resignation but received no sort of farewell, good luck, or even confirmation of his resignation. The only response he received was to inform him that his name would be pulled from the site's contributor list. McCurry rounded off his criticism, explaining how Brash Games exploits naive young writers, offering them exposure instead of actually paying them for their work, and he wrote this piece to make sure Brash Games are exposed for what they truly are. Now, I've written for websites like this, I know what he's talking about. This is kind of, unfortunately, part and parcel of the whole thing, I think. Working for free, working without payment, completely standard. Definitely aiming at, you know, kind of, it's not naivety, but definitely aiming at young writers who are just really enthusiastic and they really want to get some, you know, they want to get some review code, they want to write some reviews, they want to get some articles with their names on it, because it's just how you build up your portfolio and how you kind of progress as a writer in your career. I've been there, I know exactly what he's talking about. These do sound particularly shit. And one thing that I really noticed, like straight away looking at their website, is that they are churning out reviews, man. They've got loads of reviews coming out.
They put 11 reviews out today. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like AM as well.
Yeah.
We're filming this in the morning, and they're based in Manchester, I think, their website.
And they gave Knights of the Old Republic to a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Brash Games, more like trash games.
Pow!
It just seems like that it's just a bit of a workhouse. They've got obviously loads of contributors, loads of young writers, I'm assuming, pumping content onto this website.
No money.
You've got to assume that there's got to be some amount of ad revenue. I mean, the Twitter account is pretty good. It's got like 110,000 followers or something. It's significant, you know, it's not small.
Kind of like, it reminds me of like a sweatshop. It's
like
a journalism sweatshop, getting all these people, and then the guy just sort of swoops down the editor-in-chief and he just changes the reviews at a whim.
So the reason these young writers are so enthusiastic is, like I said, they want credits, they want bylines, they want written by so-and-so. So that's all they want, and all they want is kind of creative credit out of this. Not only for their portfolio, but just the sensation of, look, I wrote this thing, and you know, it's a kind of sense of pride, sense of achievement. It's like building something, creating something. You've written that article, it's yours, you wrote it. So take that away from them is pretty shit to begin with. But even when that's only their real source of payment, that's what they get in return, is a byline. You take that away from them as well, what the f are you doing? You're just an asshole.
Yeah, it's like removing somebody's CV history. If you apply for another writing job and say, you know, if I say, oh, I worked for IGN before, but they just removed all my articles, you know, who's going to believe me?
I've been at The Guardian for 5 years, mate.
That's it,
BBC journalist and all that. They just happen to be like Brash Games.
For this gentleman here, it looks pretty bad for him, because if he applies for a job, it looks like he's done nothing for the past couple of years now, and then there'll be no proof at all, really, as far as, well, when they Google him, it'll come up with these articles, won't it? So that'll work out well.
He's scorched this bridge on the way out. He's not going back there for a reference or anything like that. Because, you know, but what a way to go. I mean, it's cool of him to do this, and it's ballsy. He was obviously very angry, very upset, but, you know, you imagine doing stuff like this sometimes, so hats off to this guy for actually doing it.
I wonder, all the people are still there now. I bet the whip's getting cracked. Like, hey, I bet he's checking his reviews now. It should also be said, McCurry's statements were corroborated by several former employees of Brash Games. Another writer, Ollie Smith, tweeted that when he gave his resignation, all he received was a one-line email saying good luck before all his writing credits were pulled from the site. Smith also said Brash doesn't pay their staff. From his own experience, Smith said, at first, the no pay aspect didn't bother me because I was excited to be part of the industry. history. Ben McCurry revealed how Brash Games has no mediation or article review, and writers could post anything they wanted to the site because no one seemed to care, which explains how McCurry managed to post this criticism in the first place. It also came to attention that Brash Games broke embargoes on press reviews for several games, the most recent being Yooka-Laylee, which they posted a week before the embargo was lifted.
Now, since these accusations about Brash Games emerged, the website seems to have been in full crisis control mode by taking down the Pac-Man review, unfollowing people on Twitter, ignoring journalists, and blocking anyone who criticises them. I love how some people actually double down on their shittiness when their shittiness is exposed. They even tried to have McCurry's Pac-Man review removed from internet archive sites like archive.org, but the internet being the internet means dozens of people had already taken screenshots and saved it for future reference on sites like Reddit. Brash Games have yet to make any statement in response to all this. Oh, and one last note, Brash Games have marked themselves as out of business on game rankings, OpenCritic and Metacritic to avoid having any public record of crediting authors for their work.
So there you have it. What did you think of the situation and how it was handled? Maybe even you have done some free write work yourself. Let us know down in the comments below. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new around here. We've got plenty more content just here, and our Patreon's just there if you fancy supporting us. We'll see you next time.